All right, we're back.
Hi, everybody.
Since we've been gone, we realized that Rena is Adam Driver from Marriage Story, and I'm Scarlett Johansson from Marriage Story.
Wait, what does that make me? The lawyer? And
And
am I Alan Alda or am I Ray Liotta? Or am I Laura Dern?
Ray Liotta, wow.
Great.
Wow. Both of the lawyers, great performances.
I'm
in that
happy for
film.
him to have another amazing role, too. I mean, look, he's another one that, had kind of like a height in Goodfellas and hasn't done as many fantastic roles. I mean, you would think, after Goodfellas, you would think there would have been more for him, right?
Yeah. No, but he's on that cop show.
With J-Lo.
With J-Lo.
Shades of Blue. Look, I know the J-Lo.
How very convenient that... Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
They must have the same agents.
Wow. You know what? Maybe.
100%, they're definitely the same agency. I'm just calling that because they literally
Well,
are
I
in the
mean,
same
they-
shows.
they
They're both
probably are
in the
both at
narrative right
CAA.
now.
All right. So are we moving on?
Yeah, we're gonna skip song and feature and score just because, like, I don't really care for the Golden Globes about technical awards. It's not. It's kind of bullshit.
Yeah, it's
Golden
more
Globes
about
technical awards.
Star power, I feel like.
Yeah, so we'll skip on to Best Animated Feature Film, something that affects us very much.
Yep.
It is Frozen 2, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. Those are the same movies, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. The Lion King, Missing Link, that's that animal in the sweater,
Yep.
right? And Toy Story 4. Another one for Tom Hanks.
I mean, Frozen 2 is probably gonna win.
We think it's definitely done. Kristen Bell is just a lock for everything now.
I love
It's
Kristen.
her time.
Yeah, I
Dax
mean,
Shepard's
I think,
doing
like,
the promo for her on his podcast every day.
I
He's
love
not that good of an
them.
actor, but she is.
I disagree.
No, he
I
is
love
good. He
Dax.
is good.
love
Idiocracy
him.
is like a classic film, and now he gets tied to that for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
And, like, that's fine. I think.
I love him in everything, actually. He's really great on Parenthood, and,
I never watched that, but I feel like I would like that. Michael B. Jordan's in it too, right? Briefly.
Yes.
Yeah, we've talked about it on this show for sure.
yeah,
We also talk about Dax Shepard a lot.
I love him.
And how we want to be a third player in their relationship. Onwards to the next category.
Yeah.
No, have you seen any of these things?
I've seen
Besides
Frozen
Frozen
2, I've seen The Lion King, and I've seen Toy Story 4.
I saw just The Lion King, and I saw it at the drive-in, the Warwick Drive-In. Shout
Yeah,
out to one of the
represent.
longest running drive-ins in the country. Go out, pick your apples, see your movies outside once it's March 1st.
Walk down memory lane for me and Jordan, who were raised like 5 minutes apart but never saw each other until 2 years ago.
It's our energies. They've always been intertwined since our childhoods. Very
I've been teaching Jordan about like all this spiritual alignment, synchronicity, and you're picking it up really well. Actually, you and Brendan both have been like, because I feel like sometimes when I talk about stuff, especially because I have a tendency to be like very detail oriented and like long winded, people are like, okay, and then they don't really listen. But you two like actually really listen to me and are now picking up all of my tendencies, and I love it.
Well, when it comes down to it, I think I'm like the biggest. Hey! Roommate number 2 has just walked in. It's her good friend, Rebecca. I don't know if she wants her last name on here, Sonigurski. If she
Well,
doesn't want
you just said it, so.
I just outed her. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh well, she's wonderful. I hear she's a very talented actress.
Oh my god. Well, it's so funny that me and her go like back.
Oh
and
well, I
forth.
know she's a talented actress from like sketch and stuff like that, but I'm sure she's
She
a great.
is.
She will
She's
one day be a
amazing.
great cinema actress.
Yeah, I
as
put
well,
her in my
is what I
play.
meant by that.
And she was the only one for the role. I told them, they were like, oh, well, maybe these other people. And I was like, no, I'm casting Rebecca.
This is movie, cinema, film, so we don't really see theater as being art. But
Oh my
yeah,
God.
one
I mean, I
day
have a theater degree,
both
but
of my
besides
roommates will be in films.
Excuse me. You're talking to the star of American Idiot. I played what's-her-name in the Cherry Blossom Players production.
You're talking to Warwick Valley High School's McCavity from the production
Whoa.
of Cats, so I do understand the value of theater.
Okay. So we're basically, like, we're the theater stars of the Hudson Valley / Bergen County area over here. Just saying.
Yes.
All right, what's next?
We're going to go to Best Foreign Language Film.
Parasite.
Oddly enough, the most interesting competition, I think, because no, it might not be Parasite because it's against The Farewell.
The Farewell is so, it's fine, but it's nothing compared to Parasite.
Whoa! No, yeah, they're very different films. But I don't know. I think they're both, very classic films and two amazing films by great directors. And I do think it's going to be tight because, The Farewell is very easy to understand, and also, rich people aren't going to vote for Parasite.
They have to.
They're not going to glorify Parasite when they have, their kids being taken care of by nannies and they have, all their houses being cleaned by people and all their dogs being walked by people. They're not going to vote for Parasite. It's wild that it even got this far, but it's also the foreign press.
Yeah, we've been in some fancy houses lately. I feel like we could pull a Parasite scheme.
Oh my gosh, I also walk dogs, and I'm just, walking through, all right, this is your view? You're literally just looking at New York City, all right, cool.
I know.
Yeah, more power to you, though, if you make money. Enjoy it before Bernie Sanders is president. Say goodbye to that extra wealth. Pieces of shit.
Oh my god.
Have fun making $100K like the rest of us. That's honestly the worst thing about when Bernie Sanders is president is just everybody's going to be making $100K.
Really?
And that's going to be so bad. Everybody's just going to be making $100K.
I don't think that's bad. I would like to make $100K. Please.
The median salary is supposed to be $82K.
Wait,
by a Michigan economist.
I wonder how many princess parties we would have to do for me to make $100,000 a year. Oh my god, it would be so many.
Not as many as you'd think, though. Not as many as you'd think.
We need to get weekday parties more. I need to fill out my week, bitch.
If you guys have kids,
call us.
Hit us up.
Don't call me. I hate talking on the phone. Email me.
Email us.
onceuponaprincessnj@gmail.com.
So, Leah's pretty convinced it's going to be Parasite, no doubt. She has not seen Pain and Glory, but she is going out on a limb and saying it's not the winner.
And I really want to see Portrait of a Lady on Fire as well. What's the other one?
Where's that from?
Les Miserables. Okay, I don't care about that.
It is a French Les Miserables. Maybe that's interesting. Maybe it's better.
Maybe.
I don't know. Portrait of a Lady on Fire. What is the story around that? Do you know anything about it? You just want to see it?
It's an intense Look, there's our sign.
Aww.
It's,
nice.
It's Rhino comedy in The Irishman. Anyway, so it's all I know is it's an intense lesbian movie. And,
word.
And it has, on Letterboxd, it's a 4.4 or some shit. So I really am interested to see what that's all about.
Nice. Shall we move on to Best Screenplay Motion Picture?
Yes.
All right. We've got Anthony McCartan, The Two Popes. I have not heard much about The Two Popes, besides that it's good. Did Netflix buy it? Is that true?
I don't know.
I think Netflix bought it, but I'm not positive. Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Steve Zalian for The Irishman. Bong Joon-ho and Jin-Won Han for Parasite. And Noah Baumbach for Marriage Story. Because I guess women didn't write any of the scripts this year.
No, actually, no women wrote scripts at all the entire year.
Maybe it's just best male screenplay.
Yeah, no, women don't know how to read or write, weirdly. It's, amazing. If you actually ask a woman to read something in person, on the spot, she can't do it. So, that is the situation we're dealing with. And out of these nominees, which one do you think should take it home?
This one is kind of pretty wild. I feel like if anything makes sense, it's that Noah Baumbach is going to walk away with the screenplay category because he has no chance of winning anything else, probably. At least in the foreign press.
You don't think he has a chance of winning anything else? Wait, him specifically or the whole movie?
The whole movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting thought. Okay.
I just think, there's this Quentin Tarantino and, Martin Scorsese like train that's going into these award shows, and we're about to get steamrolled by like old Hollywood being like, we still own this bitch.
You're damn right.
I legit think that's what's about to happen. Like, it just makes sense, like what I was saying with the film like Parasite.
I really hope so, because the thing is, like, I do want Parasite to win. Like, but what I really want is the Academy to grow a pair of balls and nominate Parasite in Best Picture, not just Best Foreign Film. And I'll be happy if that happens. If, as much as I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and The Irishman, and I really want to see one of them take Best Picture, if Parasite won Best Picture, I would be so thrilled, because it would mean, like, a step in the right direction toward, you know, celebrating foreign films, celebrating, you know, stories about people of color, and even more than that, take all of that out of it, just the boldness of the storytelling, the sharpness of it.
Story about class, yeah.
But not even that. Like, taking all of that. Like, all the social stuff, all of that. Just the story, just how good the story is, and the editing of the film, and every single detail of it, the production design, like, the home that they're in, the way the actors move, everything. Like, it's so... Like, I want the edgy... As much as I love these movies by these classic directors that kind of, like, wrote the soundtrack to my life in some ways, I want this, like, edgy, interesting film that's different to take it as well. So, you know, let's hope the Academy has some guts and see what happens.
On to the Best Director for a Motion Picture. Bong Joon-ho, Parasite. Sam Mendes, 1917, which is a war flick that I heard was... Is it like a single shot or some shit like that?
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but I love...
I heard there's a gimmick.
Sam, because of American Beauty, is one of my top movies of all time.
Same. Although I definitely can't read it the same way as I used to read it, given the outside narratives, yeah. That he literally is, like, known for having sex with high schoolers.
I can, because I think that movie is so good that I can separate it. Like, on a daily basis, if I see Kevin Spacey, I'm like, ugh. But, like, that film is just perfect to me, so.
Yeah. It's a little too true for me at this point.
Yeah.
Down to him getting killed for getting accused of being gay.
Oh my god.
Like, Jesus Christ. He is, like... Kevin Spacey is definitely in the Illuminati, and I'm definitely going to get killed for saying that. Wait, onwards.
But they must have kicked him out.
Well, he has to get embarrassed. That's part of being in the Illuminati.
Oh, that's
you have to get, like, same as, like, Kim Kardashian got her sex tape released. Kanye West has been exiled by all the people who love him.
Can I just say, like, she looks gorgeous in that sex tape. I don't know why she had so much work done. She looks amazing in that damn tape. Yeah. That's all I have to say. I watch it daily, just so everyone knows. Anyway, what's the next nomination?
Wait, did we say which one is going to win?
No, we only got to Sam.
Oh, Todd Phillips for Joker.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese, The Irishman. And Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I mean, I always want Marty to win everything. I have a bias, and I love him deeply. But I also want Quentin to win. I also want Bong Joon-ho to win. And Bong Joon-ho, excuse me. And I wish a woman was nominated, at least one. Like, fuck Todd Phillips. He shouldn't be in there.
Joanna Hogg disappeared from conversation. We don't even know what the souvenir is in American culture.
I didn't watch it yet. But I'm excited to see it. I do want to see it. I mean,
It's been buried by its producers for some reason.
Yeah. I really want to see. I'm kind of disappointed Greta Gerwig didn't get a nomination, because I thought that they'd all be on that train again after Lady Bird was so beloved, and because I really liked Lady Bird, but I think Little Women sounds really interesting, like what she did with it, how she kind of took it in a different direction, and I really like the trailer. I think the trailer looks so good, so I'm really hoping that gets some awards traction, as well as, you know, other films directed by women. Like, it does really suck.
Queen and Slim.
Yeah, like,
that,
I'm a
if
woman,
anything,
I'm
was
like
like an auteur. Like, you can't watch Queen and Slim and not say this was like an auteur's work. Like, Melina Moustakis, like, did it and, like, made an artful piece of cinema. and
like, I'm not
stylized it.
We talked about it already, so I'm not going to talk about Joker, but, like, that is not best director material to me. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not. Fuck everyone. Fuck them. I'm not sorry about anything.
I just think Joker, yeah. Like, people are getting wooed by, like, this meta-narrative that, like, oh, it's a copycat film in a time of copycat films. And, like, legit, that is all we're doing, is glorifying a film that's just, like, glorifying or not glorifying superhero movies and, like, the idea of, like, not having intellectual property that's new anymore.
Well...
Which is a very interesting topic to make millions and millions of dollars this year.
Parasite is an original, isn't it? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is an original.
Yeah, no, Parasite, I would be, like, very happy. That is, like, the type of films that we should have every year. Parasite.
I hope so.
Any Bong Joon-ho film, like, we're blessed to have him. It is good that, like, he's alongside Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino, because, like, they have been, like, the GOAT directors for a very long time, and he is definitely one of the GOAT directors right now. Mm-hmm. Like, just from his very few works that we've seen so far. Like, I don't think there's anybody making films that, like, tight.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. I'm going to go on a limb and say it's going to be Taron Egerton for Rocketman, but it could also be Eddie Murphy in Dolomite Is My Name, or Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or Roman Griffin Davis in Jojo Rabbit. Was that the kid?
I didn't watch Jojo yet.
And Daniel Craig for Knives Out.
I think Taron Egerton is overrated.
Whoa, hot take.
And
cool.
I mean, he was good, but like, am I sitting here remembering some amazing moment from that film? No. So, I mean, of course, like, I want Leo to win.
Did you watch Dolomite?
I didn't watch any of the other movies except Rocketman.
Just by the Hollywood Reporter website, they put up a picture of Eddie Murphy, courtesy of Netflix. So Netflix is putting their horse on Eddie Murphy, it appears. So everybody should watch out for that, I guess. That Netflix is not going to aggressively campaign for The Irishman, as we have seen. They're going to aggressively campaign for Eddie Murphy for that, I feel like. For lead actor.
Are you sure, or is that just the Hollywood Reporter's choice to put that up there?
I don't know.
I haven't seen major campaigning for anything yet.
I guess, like, Adam Driver is also going to be the person who's going to be up for Best Lead.
Oh, can we talk about how... we'll see which people are nominated in the drama category, which he was. This one's musical or comedy. Yeah. But another big omission, I don't know if they would have put Uncut Gems in drama or musical or comedy, but, like, Adam Sandler was not nominated for a Golden Globe, which is surprising for Uncut Gems, because he's been nominated and winning a lot of things.
I think he's going to get nominated, I hope, for Best Actor at the Oscars. I would love to see that. Yeah. No, that's the movie that I'm most excited for.
We should make a plan and all go see it.
Honestly. Is it playing already? I feel like it's probably already playing in New York.
I think it comes out December 13th, but it might already be at the Angelica.
Everything's always already at the Angelica.
We love to see it. Nope, it's not there yet.
Why won't it just search on my computer?
No, it's not even going to be.
Oh, no. Wait. Oh. It's going to be at the 12th.
Where?
AMC Lincoln Square.
Yo, we should go on the way home from the hospital.
That would be very ballsy. But I feel like you kind of have to see it in New York. Like, we're literally, like, leaving Staten Island and then
going
we can go
to,
through
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Let's do it, dude. I'm down. We deserve it after our hard work that we're going to be doing.
Yeah, wow. Also, Scott Rudin produced it, so who knows?
I'm so excited. I really, really loved their last film, Good Time. Like, I really loved it. And I'm all for Adam Sandler in more dramatic or serious roles or meaty roles. Like, I I get that he makes some shit movies, but, like, I love him in Punch Drunk Love. I thought he was great in the 9/11 movie, and Spanglish. I love him in Spanglish. Like, he's so talented, and I'm so pumped. Like, that might end up being one of my top 5 of the year, honestly.
This is a very relevant film. So think about this. This is Adam Sandler. The most, like, bankable, stupid Jew ever. Not like saying that in a bad way, but, like, that is, like, his archetype. Like, I'm not saying, like, he's a stupid Jew, like, I'm Jewish. I'm just saying he's, like, playing an archetype. And, like, there's a lot of people who have played the stupid Jew archetype.
I'm so happy I have funny friends. I would be so bored.
And also, like, it is a comedic archetype, I feel like, because Jews are smart, kind of, and write a lot of these jokes. So, like, it is kind of funny when you put Adam Sandler into these things.
Wait, if you die before me, I'm putting Jews are smart, kind of, on your stone.
But that's legit, like, all their, like, Jews are just known for reading and, like, doing math and getting persecuted.
Wow. Well, there you have it, folks.
But, so it's him, who's just, like, been the most bankable person of all time, basically. Then Idina Menzel, coming off of Frozen 2.
It's cool that she's in this.
And then Lakeith Stanfield coming off of everything.
Jordan's
Knives Out.
boyfriend, basically.
Basically. And then Kevin Garnett just playing, like, a relevant period piece, like, himself character.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's gonna be fucking good. I'm excited. Mike Francesa playing himself. That gives me goosebumps when Mike Francesa says that line in the trailer.
Wait, who is he?
He's the sports talk guy who's on WFAN and just, like, shits on, like, sad white dudes who call up the station and they're just like, Mike, I think the Yankees should really make a play at, like, getting rid of Alex Rodriguez. Like,
that is so weird. My dad used to make me listen to that with him all the time.
And then he'd be like, you're a fool. You're a fucking fool. You don't know what you're talking about. You know nothing about sports. You should just go back to your mom's basement. Go back to your mom's basement. I know you're living in your mom's basement. Like, he says stuff that, like, makes you feel like that. Like, he doesn't go on a limb and say that, but he's just like, you know nothing about sports. Like, why are you calling me? You say you're a fan of me? Like, stop. You shame me. You're shaming me. So it's good that he's in there.
Interesting. Okay. That's one that I'm really pumped to see him. I'm also really excited to see Bombshell, but I've heard it's not...
I've heard very horrific things.
I heard it's not that good, but I love Charlize Theron. Like, anything she ever does, I think she's phenomenal, so I'm excited for that. But I think the last one that I'm, like, really dying to see is Uncut Gems.
Yeah. We're on to Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. Surprisingly enough, no Taylor Swift. Very odd. She's in Cats, and she's not here, but okay. We'll continue. Awkwafina in The Farewell. Cate Blanchett in Where'd You Go, Bernadette, which was kind of panned by critics, but somehow made it through.
I love that movie.
Ana de Armas for Knives Out. Beanie Feldstein for Booksmart. Still have not seen because my friends went and saw it without me. I'm not going to talk about that. And Emma Thompson for Late Night.
What a weird category.
Very weird. This is like people voting who have obviously not seen every film this year, but it is nice that Beanie Feldstein got in for Booksmart because I heard she's amazing.
Awkwafina should win. Duh.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I loved Where You Go, Bernadette, and Cate Blanchett is always, like, perfect, but that's not, like, what we need this year. Like, I think we need Awkwafina to win.
Feels about right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on. Up next, Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture Drama. Christian Bale for Ford vs. Ferrari, a movie I have no interest in seeing whatsoever.
Me either, but I will.
Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory. Adam Driver in Marriage Story. Joaquin Phoenix in Joker. And Jonathan Pryce playing one of the popes, presumably.
What even is the two popes? When people kept saying that, I thought they were talking about the Jude Law show from HBO.
No, he's just one of 3 popes.
What is this? What is the
He's
two
the
popes?
young one. I don't really know. I don't really want to talk about it either because it sounds lame as hell. It sounds like some King's Speech stuff. Like,
so we'll
it's
skip
gonna
over
end
it.
up like winning for no reason.
Please no. Unless it's good. I don't know anything about it, so it might be amazing. I have no idea.
Well, we could talk about what we do know, which is the showdown of Adam Driver and Joaquin Phoenix, which, unless they insert some color into the Academy voting for the Oscars, that's probably going to be our best actor race.
Yeah, I love Joaquin Phoenix, and I have for, like, ever, but in
like,
this...
if you're going to have to go with white guys, these are, like, the two extremes of white guys, like Bad Father white guy and Psychopath white guy.
He's not a bad... You think he was a bad father?
No, I don't think he was a bad father. I think he was, like, a good father.
I was about to throw down. I was about to kick you.
No. I mean, like...
We can talk about Marriage Story, but like I said, I love Joaquin. He consistently does amazing work, interesting performances. He picks unique films with really strong characters, great storytelling, and he deserves it. But for this particular movie, like, for these particular movies, like, for me, Adam Driver, like, that performance was so powerful. I loved it, and I really hope he gets it.
Although people are saying Antonio Banderas is amazing.
I keep hearing that. Yeah, I keep
so
hearing
maybe
so much
he is
about
gonna
that.
win.
He might steal it. Yeah.
Maybe. He is a great actor, and, like, he has won the hearts and minds of children in our country by being Puss in Boots.
You know what? Remember that movie that came out last year that was, like, terrible, and everyone made fun of it, with him and Oscar Isaac and Olivia Wilde?
No.
Like, was it called Life Itself?
Oh, yeah. yeah.
Antonio Banderas...
I think Brendan loves that movie.
Does he? Aw, I need to talk to him about it. But, I didn't mind it. It was fine. But, Antonio Banderas was great in it. Like, he elevated it. His part of the movie, when it shifts over into, like, his world, he was phenomenal. So, I would like to see Pain and Glory.
Same.
It's not the top of my list, but I definitely will seek it out at some point.
Same. I do like to watch foreign films in the theater if I can, just because I get very distracted when I'm at home, and it is nice to know that I'm just going to be staring at the screen and reading the subtitles.
Yeah.
Alright, best performance by an actress in a motion picture drama. Cynthia Erivo, Harriet, playing the titular Harriet. Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story. Saoirse Ronan, Little Women. First nomination for Little Women we've talked about today. Charlize Theron for Bombshell. And Renee Zellweger, Judy.
We saw Judy together. What a
race this year.
Yeah, I mean,
this is actually very tight. Looks like the best race.
Yes, I loved Judy. I thought she was amazing, but I want Scarlett Johansson to win.
Yeah.
Although I'm all for Renee Zellweger's comeback. Like, she's had a weird time in the press and the media and stuff, and, like, I listened to an interview with her recently, and she is the most, like, normal, chill, like, Texas girl ever. You would never know that she's, like, won an Oscar and had all this, like, success, and then, you know, she's been, like, beat up for her looks so much and everything, and she was really able to channel Judy in the role. Like, she does deserve it as well. But there's something about Scarlett and Adam in Marriage Story that I really love. So
I feel like, if anything, Scarlett Johansson wins some awards this year because she gets rewarded for JoJo and Marriage Story. But they're going to reward her through Marriage Story for what she did in JoJo, which is very amazing.
Yeah.
And comedically, one of the best performances. That's like the straight person in that film.
I didn't watch it yet,
yeah.
but I'm excited to watch it.
No, like, it's a pretty wild film. If you haven't seen Jojo Rabbit, I highly recommend it. Wait, was that not nominated for screenplay? Wow. Jojo Rabbit was not nominated for screenplay, which is kind of interesting. Guess people don't like the anti-Nazi movie.
People are pro-Nazi.
Very much so. Now it is time for what you've all been waiting for. We're getting to the end of our podcast. It is time for the best motion picture, musical or comedy. Dolomite Is My Name. You could watch that on Netflix right now if you want to. Jojo Rabbit. Knives Out, in theaters right now. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And Rocketman. Very interesting. Did you expect this?
I just don't care about anything except Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Also, how is Booksmart not in here? Wasn't that the funniest comedy? Didn't everybody agree that was the best comedy?
That is really a good point. It should be in there. And also, Rocket...
Was anything funny in this?
Like, Rocket Man is...
Jojo Rabbit.
Rocket Man is definitely a musical, but I wouldn't call Once Upon a Time in Hollywood a comedy. It's very funny, though. I mean, for me, I probably laugh the hardest of that of anything.
I'd say it's a comedy.
I don't think it is. I would say it's like a dramedy. I don't know. Like,
I think it relies on the release more so than it does like.
Okay.
Because like I'd say The Irishman,
that.
you're definitely relying on like, oh wow, my heart is getting ripped out. But like, in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I feel like there was still that like you wanted them to be heroes.
Yeah. Wait, you didn't see Knives Out?
No, not yet.
Brendan?
I want to see it with Brendan. Yeah.
I thought he saw it with Haley.
Did he?
He said he was. Well, he told me he was going to. Like,
maybe we're all waiting to see it with Haley, and that's like the narrative right now.
Haley, can you call us, please? We're waiting for you.
All right.
Get over here.
So I'm gonna say my pick is Jojo Rabbit. That's who I would pick, but you're gonna say it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, probably, and I think that's probably a fair assessment.
That's what I'm gonna say.
What the foreign press is going to vote for.
Please.
Although, Jojo Rabbit, Taika Waititi, an up and coming legend.
He's amazing.
Yes.
I love his vision for Troy. Troy. What is that called? Oh my god, I just blanked.
Thor. Another
Thor.
4-letter word.
Thor. I said, see, I have Brad Pitt on the brain.
And now the one we've all been waiting for. Best Motion Picture Drama. 1917. The Irishman. Joker. Marriage Story. And The Two Popes. Wow. This is very, very...
You're like cracking me up today.
You guys... It's like kind of absurd though, guys. Like... This is like bad.
No,
like,
it's not. My vote is The Irishman.
But like, why? Like, why does the Joker have to be there? Why does the Two Popes that like nobody has seen? Why does that even have to be in our conversation?
Isn't there always like one movie though that like people don't really care that much about, but the Hollywood Foreign Press is obsessed with? Like, I don't know what's going on over there.
I don't know either. And also like 1917, nobody's seen. It's all these movies that nobody's seen when there's like great directors, and. Yeah, there have been a lot of great films that came out this year that just are not getting any love.
I'm fine if Marriage Story wins, but it should be The Irishman in this category for what's nominated. Like, The Irishman all the way.
Oh, I think it's gonna be The Irishman.
Please
in
God.
Here.
I mean, last year Bohemian Rhapsody won in the musical or comedy category. So like, who knows what the fuck they're gonna do.
Conceivably, it could be Jojo Rabbit and The Irishman.
I hope it's Hollywood and Irishman.
But it could be Marriage Story. No, it's not going to be Marriage Story.
It could be.
Unless people are like, this is what American cinema is like a nice drama.
Well, I just love Noah Baumbach. Like, I thought his last film, what was it called? Meyerowitz Stories. That's the other movie that Adam Sandler was phenomenal in. Oh my god. Did you see that? You ever watch that?
No.
That was one of my tops of that year. It was so amazing. I think he really represents everyday family life and relationships in a way that feels very honest to me, and I would be happy with Marriage Story winning, but to me, it's not like anything can beat The Irishman, so.
Huh. So.
Wait, why don't we talk, so now that we're done with the nominations, why don't we talk, because I haven't heard your views on Marriage Story.
Yeah, guys, I guess we'll get into talking about sorry, I'm getting very distracted right now trying to find my schedule out for the future, but that's not what I should be doing right now.
Be present.
Be present. No, I'm here for the people. Yeah. What day is it today? Tuesday, nice. Alright. So, Marriage Story. Wow. I'm a big Noah Baumbach fan. In general, in the past. So that's, like, my take on Marriage Story is, like, that was probably the best Noah Baumbach film. and the most Noah Baumbach film and the most complete Noah Baumbach film. And like I think if anything he definitely deserves to like have the momentum right now, and like this is like the best thing that he could have made, and I think it's a very present thing, and I think it's a very relevant thing, and it's a very like apolitical thing in a year that people really don't want to talk about politics anymore.
Yeah. That's an interesting thought. I haven't thought about it like that.
Also, the performances are just the best performances. Like, the comedic performances by the side characters just are so phenomenal that, like, they make you ready for all of the emotional burden that you're gonna take from Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson.
You know what I love? Within the movie of the three lawyers. Like, that could have been its whole own thing. That was a very compelling story to me, because I don't know anything about... I mean, I don't really know that much about the ins and outs of divorce. Like, yes, I knew that lawyers can be sharks, and they can be, like, you know, taking the smallest thing and blowing it up into an entire story about how this person is an unfit mother. Like, I've heard things like that, but the way that this movie really broke it down, I found fascinating. Like, I was very curious to see how it was all going to pan out, and the vibe of, like, you know, how they weren't this, like, nasty couple that was, like, eating each other alive at the beginning. They were just, like, they were divorcing. Like, it was very civil. And, you know, he kept insisting, like, no, she's not a bitch. She's not this. She's not that. And then they would see each other in person during the proceedings, and they would still be civil, except for that one scene, obviously. But, like, she'd be like, yeah, well, you know, Nora just feels that this is the best. And it's like, why are you hiding behind this lawyer? Like,
yeah.
You know, like, well, I don't know. I guess we can get into, like, were you on, you know, so many people are saying, like, oh, it's not about what side you're on. But I think human nature is kind of to try to identify with one person or the other. Did you feel more connected to her or him? And which one did you feel was more in the right or the wrong?
Oh, I definitely thought they were both in the wrong in a lot of ways, and I think Noah Baumbach did that purposely to make them, like, seem as though they were very bad people at multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of show, like, what divorce brings out of you, and kind of, like, what the end of a relationship brings out of you. But, like, we talked at the beginning of this this segment of our interview, like, I definitely felt like I was more the Scarlett Johansson type, where I'm like, yeah, like, I am definitely a quiet person in relationships who kind of goes along with things for a very long time, and then, like, all of a sudden, like, when I eventually do say what I feel, then it's like sometimes people aren't ready for me to say what I feel because they're used to me not saying anything for a very long time, or it's like, oh, why are you talking now, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that has always been present in my relationships, kind of, and, like, in my life in general, just as, like, a people pleaser. It's like a lot of times I let things get swept under the rug for a very long time, and then people just assume that I've been okay with them for a very long time just because I don't say things.
So could you see yourself possibly being in a marriage where it's not what you really wanted for your life, but because you love the person, you're kind of antiquated into their situation, and it's not a horrible life, you definitely enjoy it, but it's not everything you wanted for yourself?
Yeah, like, I think it definitely depends on the situation, and I think, like, being very aware of your own needs allows you to not get put in a situation that isn't, like, for your needs, I guess. And, like, when it comes down to it, a lot of stuff is just determined by children, which, like, you try to control as much as you can, but, like, if you're in a heterosexual relationship, like, sometimes that comes up, and, like, you just have to deal with it, and I think that, like, forces a lot of people to just be like, well, we're kind of in this together, and we're going to see where this goes, or we are going to, like, make our lives a living hell to, like, get out of this mistake that we made, which is just, like, so tough both ways. So it's almost like, I think our generation is going to be more aware, I think, of, like, the downfalls of relationships, and, like, maybe we are going to just commit less and be miserable and single longer in general.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it kind of, when I walked out of there, I kind of didn't want to get married. Like, Brendan and I were walking out of the like, we were walking out of the theater, like, with our, like, eyes wide, like, and it's like both of us, we just had all these thoughts going through our mind of, like, do we ever do this, or should we not? You know? But I will say one thing I just want to note is that, even though we knew it was coming to Netflix in a few weeks, we did go see it a few weeks ago at the Paris Theater. Because for anybody that doesn't know, the Paris is like a New York institution. It's right across from the Plaza Hotel. It's one of the most, historical landmarks for New York film, and it was closing. It was announced that they were going to have to close, and it was devastating. I was heartbroken when the Ziegfeld closed. I hated that the Landmark Sunshine Cinema closed. I'm terrified of the Angelica closing, or the IFC Center, or Film Forum, or Village Cinema East, like all these places that, I've had some of the best nights of my life and seeing some of the best films ever made, and I just, would have been so heartbroken to see the Paris go. So Netflix paid for Marriage Story to run in the Paris for, I'm not sure how long exactly, and then they decided to just pay for it indefinitely. So now it's just going to stay open thanks to Netflix, and I really appreciate that. And I'm really happy that they made that decision and that they went ahead and did that. And so Brandon and I went out of our way, and we really went out of our way because, we had stuff to do that day too, and it ended up taking the whole day just to see it because of traffic and other stuff that was going on. But at the end of the day, we still felt like it was 100% worth it to make sure that we found a day to carve out and go see it and support it, and make sure that we were kind of voting by buying tickets that we still care about seeing great films on the big screen in a classic New York movie house, and not just waiting for Netflix. And even though I'm thrilled that it's on Netflix now, because the day it premiered on Netflix, as soon as I got home, I turned it right on. I'm so happy about that. But I think if you have the means to see these movies in the cinema, they should be seen on the big screen. And it's just such a lovely experience going to see it with a bunch of strangers and all experiencing it at the same time and feeling those emotions together, but also separately. I love it. I just love it. And I hope people will keep doing that. And that's I'll get off my soapbox.
I also agree that you should watch films on the biggest screen possible. And that's why during Black Friday, my roommates and I got a 60-inch TV.
It's rad. I love it. I'm watching it at this very moment. We have Irishman on mute, and it's phenomenal.
And it's 4K. I highly recommend people next Black Friday give into the capitalist machine and get your cheap-ass TV.
Mood.
Because you need to value filmmakers more than the backs of the American working class. Because
How many
that's what
inches?
cinema's all about, stomping on the working class to make great art. What?
How many inches is it?
I thought it was 60 or 65 or something like that. Yeah, I think it's 65.
Cool.
Yeah, so it is basically a mini theater, kind of. It's definitely big enough to watch a movie, and Paul Thomas Anderson wouldn't be mad at me.
I mean, it's about the same size as the screen at the Quad Cinema. So, no shade, Quad Cinema. I actually love the Quad. No shade at all. But anyway.
Well, I guess that about wraps up our Golden Globes conversation, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we could touch on some other films next time around, but...
Yeah.
Is there anything you wanted to touch on?
No, I mean, I think I've stated my loyalties and where they lie.
I'll be very intrigued to see in the coming weeks how the narratives change. We'll be getting Uncut Gems in a week. We'll be getting some other films that... 1917. Cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. I think the best films have already come out, so you guys should go out and see them before they're out of the theaters.
Do it.
Also, Netflix has a lot of stuff. Highly recommend the Gamechangers documentary. Also, I want to watch American Factory, which is on Netflix, and it's apparently getting very good reviews.
Alright, let's do it.
That's been Movie Cinema Film.
Thank you for listening.
I've been Jordan Freed.
I have been and will continue to be Lia Russo.
Get
Good
home
night.
safe, y'all, if you're driving. This is a low energy finish.
Goodbye.
It sounds like it's 10 p.m., but it's only 7 p.m.
We're gonna go to sleep.